I recently encountered a ghost. I was laying in bed trying to fall asleep, and when I opened my eyes I saw a completely black silhouette-like figure standing above me. I tried to fight them off, but as soon as I moved it vanished. I was spooked. But I want to find more. To hunt the paranormal, we should first see what other ghost hunters do, and so we should start by finding somewhere that looks old, because everyone knows ghosts hang out in spooky abandoned old places instead of Tesco. Once you've found an old place, have a brief look into its history and find the first mention of death. There will always be a death because people have spread like viruses across this planet, and if you go back a couple of decades before health and safety existed, you'll probably find so many deaths you'll be overwhelmed with choice, like scrolling through Netflix. But it doesn't matter if someone died in a horrific murder, died from disease, died from a tricky poo that got stuck round a corner, or just died peacefully in their sleep. Death equals ghosts. A common thing in folklore is ghosts are people who died with unfinished business. But here's the thing, most people die with unfinished business because you don't just reach an age where you go, alright, I've completed everything, so now I just sit in this rocking chair and wait for the sweet embrace of death. The woods are a good place to pick to see the paranormal, because with lots of animals running around making noises, it makes you think something more ominous could be lurking in the shadows. It's also a place that most people have been, and if lots of people have gone to a certain area, then that just raises the chances of other paranormal stories out there to support your own story. Another benefit is you don't need permission to film in the woods, which is why I'm in this handmade shelter fit for human sacrifices in the middle of the woods. It is, however, a small patch of forest, and the tree line ends just over there, and this building is for one of those hippie-ish schools where you find out which berries will kill you instead of algebra. But that doesn't matter, because like manosphere people say about women, it's the appearance that counts. Now let's find out if anyone has died here so we can exploit their tragic deaths. You know what? I don't feel too comfortable about this part. The whole point of bringing up someone's death is to ground ghost hunting into reality, to make it all seem more legit, and therefore make the wacky paranormal hunting tools used seem a lot less wacky. This is my Lego Batmobile, and inside it is an electronic device that goes vroom when it moves. But it also goes off when it comes into contact with a ghost because of... We just place this right here and wait for the spirits to contact us. Something I've learned from YouTube ghost hunting is that you can do it on a small budget. Most ghost hunters use everyday items like cat toys and flashlights, meaning anyone can give it a go. Any child can put down a cat toy that only requires the slightest bit of movement to light it up, or get their twist-activated torches and turn them so they only just turn on, and if you knock it slightly it'll turn off, proving ghosts are real. Any small, innocent, gullible, stupid child can do that and become forever convinced of the existence of the paranormal, meaning you have an audience that believes everything you do is real, since they've experienced it themselves. Oh my god, how can you refute that? If you want to step the ghost hunting up a gear, you can get your hands on some proper equipment like a REM pod. If you get too close to one of these REM pods, it will beep, and so you put it in a haunted room and wait for it to beep, meaning a ghost has just strolled past it. That is 100% evidence of the paranormal, if you brush past the fact that these pods are highly sensitive to various radio frequencies, like the ones that come from wireless microphones, camera equipment, and walkie-talkies that can literally be used as a remote control to set off the REM pod. What about a spirit box, which just cycles through radio frequencies and ghosts can use it to speak? High-tech stuff like that is foolproof, as you just turn it on, ask a question, and wait for a spirit to give you an answer. Whoa, we're either dealing with a racist ghost or the spirit box has just stumbled across a rap radio station. Another tool you could probably find covered in dust in your house is an Xbox Kinect. You know, that thing your parents bought thinking it would get your grandparents bowling like on the Wii, only to find it has a harder time seeing people than your grandparents with their failing eyes. Point the Kinect at a wall, and if it shows what's supposed to be a person, then you've just found a ghost, and it definitely isn't a bug due to faulty and cheap decade-old technology. You can also buy a Ouija board on Amazon, or make your own one so Hasbro doesn't sue you for using one of their products without giving them money. Just ask your questions to the spirits and let your hands guide you to their answer, which cannot be faked in the slightest, since YouTubers never lie for profit. If none of those devices take your fancy, then you could just go simple with a camera and microphone. Did you hear that? I think we need a replay. Editing is one of the most powerful tools for ghost hunting, and that is why every ghost video is a similar length to the Conjuring films. There is an intentional lack of editing to make the parts that are edited a bit more intentional. What the hell was that? This is the majority of every ghost hunting, paranormal investigating, dust spotting, pixel pointing, spooky vlogging videos. Just grainy cameras pointed at nothing with the occasional heavy breathing. I've seen completely uncut minutes of hallways and stairs where absolutely nothing happens, and yet the people behind the camera still get spooked out. Sometimes the hunters will punch into a spot on the screen and in voiceover say that this particular piece of grainy footage looks like a person. But why should you trust ghost hunters, especially when they look this stupid? Talking to a camera while blinding themselves with a vlogging light, standing in the cold, and even after 300 videos doing the exact same thing, they still get spooked by nothing.
Guys.
I've never seen any compelling ghost footage, but I've heard a lot of very compelling stories from people I know and trust. But their stories always start with them in bed, and that's why a majority of the most haunted places are hotels. People are just nodding off, seeing something creepy in their dreams, and then waking up without realising they fell asleep. But that doesn't matter, because for most people, seeing is believing. And if you believe in ghosts, then you are probably willing to believe what these paranormal vloggers document.
It's really scary out here.